Most people choose garden plants for how they look. The smartest gardeners choose them for what they do. What if you didn't have to choose 8 plants? All of them stunning enough for your patio, your front garden, your back garden. All of them doing invisible work your other plants desperately need. This isn't a list of pretty flowers. Every single plant on this list earns its place twice. Once for your eyes and once for your garden's health. 8 different truths about why companion planting actually works. And for every plant, I'm going to tell you exactly what to grow it with and why. Stay to the end, because truth number 8 is the one nobody in gardening is talking about. 1. Lavender. Let's start with the one plant that almost every garden has already, but almost nobody understands, lavender. You already know it's beautiful. Silver green foliage all year round, dense purple flower spikes in summer. It thrives in pots, in gravel gardens, in sunny borders. And it demands almost nothing from you. But here's the truth nobody tells you about lavender. Those flowers aren't just decorating your garden. They're defending it. Lavender releases 2 compounds, linalool and camphor, directly into the air around it. To aphids, whitefly, and egg-laying moths, those compounds are deeply disorienting. They scramble the scent signals pests use to locate your plants. At the same time, bees and hoverflies, the insects you actually want, are completely unbothered. They land on lavender in their hundreds, one plant, repelling the pests, welcoming the pollinators. That's not folklore. That's chemistry. The perfect pairing roses, lavender's airborne pest repellents protect rose foliage from aphid damage, while the contrasting purple and pink is one of the most classic and stunning garden combinations you can plant. Brassicas, cabbage, broccoli, kale, cabbage white butterflies navigate by scent. Planting lavender along the border of a brassica bed confuses their flight path and dramatically reduces egg laying on your crops. 2. Catmint nepeta. Catmint is one of the most underused plants in the garden world, and I genuinely don't understand why. It forms these beautiful billowing mounds of silver green leaves, topped with long violet-blue flower spikes that go on for weeks. Cut it back after the first flush, and it flowers again. It softens any hard edge, any path, any wall, any patio corner, beautifully. But the truth about catmint is in a compound called nepetalactone. You probably already know that nepetalactone is what makes cats go wild for this plant. But what most gardeners don't know is that it does something very different to aphids and flea beetles. It repels them, measurably. The confusion nepetalactone causes in pest navigation isn't anecdotal. It's been studied. These insects simply don't want to be near it. Plant catmint along the edges of a bed and you've created a scented perimeter that pests genuinely avoid. The perfect pairing, aubergine and peppers. Flea beetles are the #1 enemy of aubergine and pepper crops. A catmint border around your growing area creates a chemical barrier that keeps flea beetles disoriented and away from the leaves. Bearded iris, catmint and iris is a planting combination that appears in gardens everywhere because it works on every level. The violet-blue catmint echoes iris tones beautifully, and the catmint scent deters the iris borer moth from laying eggs in the rhizomes. 3. Lupine. I want you to picture a plant with towering flower spires, red, pink, purple, white, rising bold and architectural out of a summer border, deeply lobed leaves that catch morning dew and hold it like jewels. Wild and structured at the same time, that's lupine, and it might be doing more for your soil than anything else you grow. Lupine roots host rhizobium bacteria, tiny microorganisms that live in nodules on the roots and do something remarkable. They pull nitrogen directly out of the atmosphere and fix it into the soil. Nitrogen is the nutrient plants need most. It's what most fertilizers are made of, and lupines manufacture it for free and share it with every plant growing nearby. Plant lupines in a border, and you are quietly building fertility into your soil all season long. No bag of fertilizer, no effort. The perfect pairing, sweet corn. Sweet corn is a notoriously heavy nitrogen feeder. It strips the soil fast. Interplant lupines between your sweet corn rows, and the nitrogen being fixed underground goes directly to the crop that needs it most. Foxglove, a purely aesthetic pairing with a practical edge. Lupines and foxgloves both prefer the same slightly acidic, well-drained conditions. The lupine fixes nitrogen into the soil that the tall foxglove draws on. Together, they create a towering cottage garden display that feeds itself. 4. Roses and allium. This is the one combination on this list that garden designers have known about for decades, but most home gardeners have never tried. Roses and alliums. The purple globes of allium rising up through rose foliage in early summer is one of the most photographed garden pairings in the world. It looks deliberate, expensive, and considered, which is exactly what people will say about your garden. But the beauty is only half of it. Alliums release sulfur compounds from their bulbs as they grow, and those sulfur compounds suppress the fungal spores responsible for 2 diseases that ruin most rose displays: black spot and rust. The problems that make beautiful roses look tired and ragged by August. Plant alliums through your rose beds, and you are deploying a natural fungal barrier at the root level before the problem even starts. Beauty protecting beauty. That's what a true companion does. The perfect pairing, geranium, hardy cranesbill. Hardy geraniums planted at the feet of roses cover bare rose stems beautifully, suppress weeds, and keep the soil cool and moist, reducing the humidity fluctuations that encourage fungal disease on rose foliage. Salvia nemorosa. The deep violet spires of salvia complement roses in both color and function. Salvia attracts parasitic wasps that prey on aphid colonies, the pest that roses suffer from most. A front of border salvia edging your rose bed is pest control you don't have to think about. 5. Echinacea coneflower. Echinacea earns its place in every season. From midsummer to autumn, bold daisy flowers in hot pink, white, and orange, with prominent central cones that glow like embers in evening light. Then the petals drop, and the seed heads stand through winter, feeding goldfinches and sparrows. 3 seasons of value, 1 plant. But Echinacea is doing 2 things that most people never notice. Underground, its deep taproot is pushing through compacted soil layers, breaking them up, improving drainage, drawing minerals up from depths that shallow-rooted plants can never reach. Above ground, its wide-open flowers are precision landing platforms for parasitic wasps and lacewings, the insects that hunt caterpillars, aphid colonies, and whitefly larvae on your food crops and ornamentals. 3 seasons of beauty, 2 layers of ecological work, all in 1 plant. The perfect pairing, black-eyed Susan, Rudbeckia, Echinacea, and Rudbeckia are the classic naturalistic pairing. Hot pink cones against golden yellow daisies, both flowering simultaneously in late summer. They share the same prairie growing conditions and together create a pollinator corridor that benefits everything nearby. Tomatoes. Plant Echinacea at the end of tomato rows. Its deep roots break through the compaction that tomato roots create in heavy soil, while above ground it draws in the parasitic wasps that target tomato hornworm caterpillars, one of the worst tomato pests. 6. Borage self-seeding annual. I want to talk about the most electric blue flower in the garden world, Borage. Star-shaped blooms in a blue so vivid it looks hand-painted. It self-seeds reliably, so once you plant it, it comes back every year for free. The flowers are edible, and it will grow in almost any soil, any aspect. But the truth about borage is what's happening inside those flowers. Borage produces some of the highest nectar volumes of any garden plant, and pollinators know it. Bumblebees and honeybees find borage quickly, and they come in numbers. More bees in one bed means more pollination activity across the whole plot. Vegetable yields go up, fruit set improves. Plants that were struggling to attract pollinators suddenly have visitors. Borage acts like a magnet, pulling pollinators into your garden and sending them outward to do their work everywhere else. The perfect pairing, strawberries. This is one of the oldest and most proven companion combinations in the kitchen garden. Borage planted between strawberry rows attracts pollinators that dramatically improve fruit set. More flowers get pollinated, which means more strawberries. The electric blue against the red fruit is also genuinely beautiful. Courgette and squash. Courgettes need heavy pollination to set fruit reliably. A borage plant at each corner of a squash bed pulls in the volume of pollinators that courgettes need. Gardeners who add borage consistently report better fruit set and fewer hollow, underdeveloped courgettes. 7. Comfrey Bocking 14. Comfrey is the most underrated ornamental on this entire list. Bocking 14 is a cultivated sterile variety. It won't spread. Large architectural leaves, clusters of deep violet tubular bells that bumblebees absolutely love. Bold, structural, and alive with pollinators from spring to autumn. But Comfrey's roots are doing something remarkable underground. They grow nearly 2 meters deep, down through soil layers that no other garden plant reaches. And as they grow, they mine potassium, phosphorus, and calcium that have been locked in the subsoil. When you cut the leaves and lay them around your other plants as mulch, those minerals are released at the surface. Your shallow-rooted crops access nutrients they could never have reached alone. Comfrey is essentially a mineral elevator, bringing buried treasure to the surface, one cut at a time. The perfect pairing fruit trees. Plant comfrey in a ring around the drip line of apple, pear, or plum trees. The potassium it mines and releases through leaf mulch is exactly what fruit trees need for flower and fruit development. The same nutrient that expensive specialist fruit fertilizers are built around. Potatoes. Comfrey leaves laid at the bottom of a potato trench before planting, and again as a mulch when earthing up, deliver a slow-release feed of potassium and phosphorus directly to the developing tubers. Potato yields increase measurably with Comfrey companion planting. 8. Phacelia tenicetifolia, the one nobody talks about. I saved this one for last deliberately because if you've made it to number 8, you deserve a genuine discovery, and Phacelia is exactly that. Most people have never heard of it. It doesn't appear on most companion planting lists, and that is a serious mistake. First, the beauty. Phacelia produces extraordinary coiled flower spikes called fiddleheads that unfurl in vivid lavender blue. There is nothing else in the garden that looks like this. Visitors will always ask what it is. It grows in any soil, any aspect. It germinates fast. It costs almost nothing. Now the truth. Phacelia attracts over 30 species of beneficial insects. Parasitic wasps, hoverflies, lacewings, ground beetles. 30 species. When you turn it into the soil at the end of the season as a green manure, it repairs soil structure and adds organic matter. And while it's growing, its dense low canopy suppresses weeds underneath it. 3 companion mechanisms, 1 plant, simultaneously. Nothing else on this list does all 3 at once, not even close. The perfect pairing: brassicas, cabbage, kale, cauliflower. Brassicas are attacked by cabbage white caterpillars, aphids, and flea beetles, and Phacelia addresses all three indirectly. The hoverflies it attracts lay eggs in aphid colonies. The parasitic wasps it draws target caterpillars, and sown as a border or underplanting, it suppresses the weeds that harbor flea beetles over winter. Any vegetable bed as a whole, Phacelia is the one companion plant worth sowing across an entire growing area, not paired with one specific crop, but woven through the whole bed in patches. Every vegetable in that bed benefits from the 30-plus beneficial insect species it brings in. Think of it less as a companion and more as a whole garden insurance policy. 8 plants. A completely different truth about why companion planting works, and 16 perfect pairings you can plant this weekend. Chemical repellents, nitrogen fixers, fungal barriers, mineral elevators, pollinator magnets, biological pest control, and one plant doing all three at once. None of it is magic. All of it is biology. And every single one of these plants is beautiful enough to grow anywhere: patio, front garden, back garden, regardless of what it's doing underground. If this changed how you think about your garden, subscribe, because this is exactly the kind of content we make here every single week. I'll see you in the next one.